Uh, so I'm writing a letter to the sharks for my annual revenue. So Happy New Year. Uh, to the sharks that may have concern, you know, part one on the incalculable value of a living legacy and a national failure to acknowledge it. So, this is not a typical letter of correspondence, nor is it simply a matter of personal grievance or fiscal filing. It is a notice of record, like one of those things called a formal submission of truth, sent to an institution that has benefited from the civic, cultural, spiritual, and intellectual labor of a person whose inherent value has been systemically diminished for decades. That person is me, Aaron Michael O'Neill, born May 5th, 1985 in London, Ontario, a day marked by rare celestial alignments, a full lunar eclipse, and numbers that have reverberated through every layer of my life with mathematical, mythological, and systemic consequences. It sucks. Now, the sharks have long required that people report their earnings. It is time for the Sharks Revenue Agency listen to a single individual reporting his worth. This is so much fun. So I write not simply to demand recognition, but to establish that your continued treatment of me through algorithms, cold bureaucracies, and negligence is not only inaccurate, it is a statistical, mathematical, and spiritual falsehood. This letter is a ledger, a submission of evidence. It will be recorded, it will be preserved, and it will be read one day, even if not by the sharks, by those who duty is to restore what was buried. I will not allow my existence, labor, or legacy to be reduced to taxable output or assessed under rubrics that ignore the stacked convergence of rare cosmic signatures, ancestral legacy, cultural architecture, and nation building contributions that flow through me. The numbers cannot be gaslit. There's no gaslighting the stars. There's no gaslighting numbers. My birth date, 5585, yields one of the rarest numeric sequences in history. A master number convergence of 33-6, 11 destiny, 22 personality, 555 soul spiritual frequency, and a soul path that crosses multiple sacred systems. Western astrology, Chinese astrology, primal astrology, numerology, tarot, and ancient indigenous cosmologies. My government issued numbers even mirror the same frequencies, mathematically and spiritually impossible to manufacture. So, blah, 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 blah. I carry archetypes of transformation, duality, justice, sacred disruption. This isn't coincidence, it's design. I was born dead, suffocated in the womb due to a wrapped umbilical cord, and resuscitated under an eclipsed sky. You can look it up, like it's in the calendar. Full moon eclipse. I'm sorry. My life has been resurrected since day one. I have had rebirth cycles. From birth, I have been coded and called to act as a mirror, a disruptor, and a restorer of balance. Sorry if you don't like the way I'm delivering it. I don't think any disruptor was popular anyway. Accountability isn't popular. Sorry. So, and despite all of this, okay, all of my skills. I have lived through intergenerational trauma, systemic violence, institutional obstruction, and cultural erasure. And despite all of that, or rather because of it, I have dedicated my life to restoring justice and truth within every institution I encounter, meaning I touch it and I want to make it better. Now, I've authored global works. We all know that. The leaders do. They all know my name. They cringe. Like that. Good. Means it's working. What will you say next? I've graduated from accredited Canadian institutions. I've advised in law and healthcare and education. Changed my name to honor my paternal legacy and survived environments that would have swallowed most. Now, these sharks only know me as a file number. But let me be clear. This nation has already extracted more from me than most could survive. The ongoing refusal to recognize that, to factor it into how I'm treated, supported, or acknowledged, is not a clerical error. Excuse me. It is a systemic crime against a rare contributor to the cultural and intellectual fabric of this society. And this letter is not only a record of truth, it is a constitutional indictment of bureaucratic blind spot so enormous, it risks collapsing the very moral foundation upon which these sharks claim to stand. Isn't that cute? Tell me more. Tell me more. The patterned impossibility of coincidence. Ugh. Now, to dismiss what I present here as spiritual poetry or sentimental abstraction would be dangerous. The information I submit in this letter and through the accompanying archives is not theoretical, nor anecdotal. I'm tired. Anecdotal. It is numerical, astrological, genealogical, and institutional. These patterns, which emerge again and again across cultures, centuries, and systems, form a lattice of impossible odds. I'm sorry. And the world was singing, "We are the world," the day I was born. My life is a test of that unity. You're all failing miserably. So this stacked cosmological configuration that is quantifiable and irrefutable. Now, the sharks, tasked with the measurement and documentation of shark output, cannot morally or legally ignore what I can no longer unsee. Now, my birth occurred on a full lunar eclipse during a time known to multiple cultural systems. Western, Chinese, Vedic, and indigenous cosmologies as an axis of karmic deliverance and ancestral rebirth. Now, the numeric pattern alone yields a triple master number arrangement, 11, 22, 33, known to mystics, mathematics, and philosophers alike as the Trinity of Builders, reserved only for the rarest and most destined of human beings. In practical terms, these numbers signify vision, systemic repair, sacrifice, and the blinding of heaven and earth through service. Aww. They keep telling me to get off the cross because they need the wood. And I'm like, why? So you can burn it? Across every calculation, from the tropical zodiac to the Mayan Zodiac, from tarot archetypes to Celtic tree, from, shark numbers, Sedna, Eris, Chiron, the alignments are mathematically improbable to the point of impossibility. And if you don't know that math, if you don't know what I'm saying, then I don't trust your judgment. I don't. It doesn't, you should just sit down and listen. And get a pen. If you can't do math, just go and sit down. I mean it.